Many of you, when you're practicing Pilates at home with me, have got a mirror, either just, a upper head, neck and shoulder mirror or a full body mirror. And if you're getting in front of that now, then fantastic, because it does help you just to have a little extra glance at your alignment, especially with eyes to horizon, chin naturally parallel to the earth beneath. And we're starting now just with some lovely arm warm-ups. So give your arms, fingers and hands a good old shake out those knees. Obviously plant those feet evenly so you feel centered, you start to feel connected to your center. And then float the arms out to the sides, turn the thumbs up. So rotate through the arms. Make sure those shoulder blades are sitting neatly onto the back body. And notice that your weight isn't leaning into the heels or into the toes. So again, once you've floated those arms out, make sure you double check again that feeling of the midline activation. Inhale, exhale. So you spread through the fingernails. Turn that thumb up towards the sky, set those shoulders onto the back, just starting to connect a little bit more of your attention to your midline center and that wrapping around that corsetry of postural muscles. Breathing in through the nose, expand your ribs. And then as you exhale, sighing out through the mouth, let go, but also create that inner tone, keeping the length on your spine. So let's begin with reverse circles, and quite large ones. And your pace is important to you, and we're not here to aggravate shoulders, but as you stir or turn those arms backwards, maybe if you're feeling quite fluid, quite free, the pace does increase. So we're looking for about maybe 20 or 25 large arm circles. Try not to create any tension in the throat and the neck. Remember to breathe well throughout. Thumbs are up, fingers are spread, we're opening up the palm. You start to feel the tone coming through the arm muscles. And then inhale, exhale. Notice your response. Rotate the palms down now, so the thumbs face down. And circle the arms forward. Just with the thumbs down and the fingers spread, be aware as you observe your body in motion, but the framework of your torso steady and still. Just being in that place of mindful connection. And again, releasing a long sigh through the mouth so you can soften the jaw, soften the face, teeth, lips and tongue. Again, maybe 20 or 25. And you're making these circles as large as you can manage without force or strain. Arms out to the sides now. Rotate the palms up to sky. And then down to earth. Up to sky, down to earth. And then turn more or less than that. And then rotate right palm up to sky and look to right palm. And as you do so, turn left palm down towards earth or rotate more or less. And then inhale, exhale and swap. Looking to the left palm as it turns up. Inhale, exhale, swap. Keeping the arms long. We're not locking out the elbows here. And again, as you start to consider picking up your pace, and of course, this is often known as Egyptian arms. Now, of course, you can move without adding in the turning of the neck. But, rotating the neck, head, neck and shoulders work together in integrated functional movements. If you can, Be in a place where you mindfully look left as your palm turns up, mindfully look right. And then we'll center and just create a few more faster motions. And maybe start to lean across as well. So that you'll bend the elbow, almost as if you're giving something to someone who is beside you. So what happens here is you start to lengthen, lean and reach and turn, is that you not just integrate your neck and head, you start to find a lovely flow motion in the ribs and in your torso. And just be aware that you're not inviting a rigidity in the legs. Now thumbs up again, and bend the elbows. Take the fingers towards the sides of the torso and temples. You can shake out your legs if you have noticed a little bit of that stiffness and tension coming in. Maybe bend the knees. Roll those shoulders away from the ears. Fingertips touch the temples if you wish, and then open and back. This is quite rapid. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Rotate those palms down, fingertips in towards the pelvic core, space out through the chest. 1, 2, so you're pressing up and out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 and 10, 10, 9, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then press your arms back, roll them away, really come into what we sometimes call it in yoga diver arms, but in Pilates it's arm press back, and then bend the elbows, hook the thumbs, spread out the fingers, and as you roll the shoulders back and adjust, see if you can just lift the chest a bit. I appreciate that you will therefore be coming up Pilates neutral. But according to you, just invite a mild spinal extension. Look into your heart and chest. Breathe well, and maybe even glance to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then release back to your neutral. Draw those knuckles and fingers down towards that tailbone. And just maintain this position for a few more rounds of breath. And then shake it out. Make small fists, and you can tuck the thumbs inside, of course, or have the thumbs on the outside. Bring the fist around the low back lumbar area or the top of the pelvic rim. Squeeze the elbows together. Think about whether you want those fists to move higher, medium, or lower in your spine. And we'll repeat that extended back position. So it's a lifting of the breastbone, and then adding in a little bit of opening, more of that front body if you can. So this encourages all of your back muscles to strengthen. Remember to be able to continue to breathe as you feel the weight shift in your feet, in your body, and then align back to center. And then rolling out the shoulders. So that gives that lovely length to the front body as well as that strength to your back body. Picking up your weights now. And then rotate the arms all the way up and overhead as best you can. And then exhale, press down through resistant air. Rotate, inhale. Overhead if possible. Try not to distort the head and neck. Exhale, press down. Exhale, pressing down. And then 3 in front raise. Inhale and exhale. And your arms, of course, can come wider if it's better for you. Kind of like that sense of breathing in to expand and exhaling to connect to postural support. And then we're going to do the same action, but in balance. So you're going to draw the knee up towards the heart, navel, or chest as you flex out the foot and then release. Knee draws up, so there's balancing. And if you want to move a little bit faster, then do so. You're coming into a rhythm through what is a knee fold Pilates balance, and then adding in the movement. So coming up and down, and down. Of course, you'll be moving, your weight will transfer side to side, but just notice your ability to find a little bit more strength in that upper body as you come into a single leg. Maybe after about 6, 8 or 10, go into the front raise. Less movement through the shoulders and arms, so you might find you can move a little bit quicker. And every time you come onto one leg and you're swapping sides, it's of course creating a maintenance and a connection of your proprioception. It's also a little bit raising your heart rate, but nothing frantic. Bring the weights now onto the shoulders or even beside your ears. You can have a sort of cactus shape, or you can rest here. And rotate. Just spiraling. You can turn your head as well if you wish. Make sure those knees are unlocked. And rotation is so good for the body. It's especially good for the thoracic region. And it helps kind of free up the ribs. So over time you increase your lung capacity and you improve your respiratory function. Okay, we're going to move back to those knee fold balances, but this time press the arms back. So come into that diver arm position. It is shoulder extension, roll the shoulders off the back. Gaze gently into the distance, into the horizon, and then float. We're going to release and bring forward, float and press. Release, float and press. Front raise, balance, stay balanced, press. So keep going, practicing that, and try not to bring in or listen to the critical voice that says, oh, I'm really wobbly today, I'm better on one leg than the other, oh no, this is my weak side. So be aware of all of your individuality in your practice, but remember that's what it is, it's a practice. And then finally, float the knee. It doesn't have to float that high. I mean, if it is high, it is high. If it's lower, it's lower. And turn your ankle. And let's coordinate turning of the ankle with turning the arms behind you. And be interested in how your brain copes with that. Trying to rotate that right ankle as you stir the arms in the arm press position. And not hold your breath. Strong energy in that right leg. Think about hugging in through the pelvis, corseting the midline. Float the left leg, toes are softly pointed. You might want to even give the hip a little stir. When you're settled, turn the ankle. Let's get the ankle moving. And then little tiny spiraling turns of the arms, which are behind you. Really trying to keep that crown aligned and not lean forward or lean back. As you keep going with the movement as much as you can. Have a little play with that one. Okay, ease out the legs. Final movement in standing today. Coming into your plie. So stepping the feet, probably mat wide or a little wider. Again, bringing the fingertips or the weights to rest on the shoulders. Turning the feet approximately 45 degrees. So as you start coming into that plie, breathing in as you sit, exhaling as you squeeze back and activate the glutes. And as you engage your gluteals, of course you're also going to feel that sense of zip and hollow through the midline. Breathing in, exhaling out. And then can you stay in the plie, side bend, to the left and to the right. And if you stand and you require that moment of standing, you can continue the exercise here. You can also turn this into a more dynamic practice. Breathing in as you lower and side bend, and then exhaling back. Of course, what's really important is while you're at home being guided on this Pilates online, is that when you plie, you double check that your knees don't roll into the midline. So please don't lose the inner arch of the foot. Make sure those knees track correctly. Like it's always worth literally stopping a movement and resetting your alignment. And anytime you move more dynamically, side to side, what you're doing is not just strengthening the muscles of the posture, support the muscles of the back, rectus abdominis, erectus spinae, bifidus that squeeze in and hug around the spine. You're starting to access the side walls of the abdominals, the obliques. Okay, well done. You can release your weights now. Maybe give yourself a little shoulder roll. Pop the weights on the side of the mat. And then offer yourself a full Pilates roll down. Always lovely in the morning to let your body rest against a wall, but you can have a freestanding roll down if you prefer. Whether you're using your Pilates roll down at a faster pace or a more mindful, slower pace, Really try and connect, not just to the strengthening, scooping and hollowing of the abdominals as you roll down, and especially as you roll back up, but also to a felt sense of your spine being able to undo any stiffness that's accumulated the night before. So try to find time now for 3 or 4 roll downs with really firm, strong concentration. And then we'll be coming down onto the mat shortly for some mat-based abdominals. So take your time to really enjoy your Pilates roll downs, freestanding or at the wall. And of course, the other benefit of the Pilates roll down is that you access the posterior chain. So you start to elongate or observe the felt sense of the muscles in the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings. You've got a tiny micro bend in those knees, and you're spreading out through your feet, connecting to earth. When you're ready, come to sitting, so completing your roll downs. Spread the feet into the earth, sit well, sit tall, float the arms forward. On the breath in, affirm that lovely sense of connection to the breath and the sitting tall. And then as you exhale, hollow scoop, rounding the spine again. So still finding that kind of Pilates roll down mobility in your spine. And as you curl off of those sit bones, you can press the palms to the sides of the knees or thighs. You can hold on to the back thighs. Just let yourself roll off slowly to a place where you can manage to remain in contact with your breath. Offering another round of breath, and then walk up those legs again. Peel yourself back up to sitting, or your arms are free. And if you really want to add extra tone, you'll repeat that seated roll back, holding your weights. Breathing in at the top. Exhale, mobilize, C-shaped curve on the way down. Hold for 1 round of breath. Let that breath cycle in the seated roll back be a complete breath cycle. So do try not to rush and just kind of get through an exercise like it's a to-do list. Really sense each time you come into your seated roll back, seated curl down, that you are embracing every moment to spend time with the health of your body. You know, conditioning these muscles is a daily nourishment. It's like a daily feeding of your mind, body, and your soul. And your muscles are so happy for this, as are your organs. So you've probably completed at least another 5 or 6. There's no need to rush. And of course, another way you can add in some endurance and stamina to those muscles is just by hovering in the position. Maybe even floating a leg. So adding on now and again, just a little bit more balancing challenge to that seated roll back. Okay, and then make your way down to the mat. You can lay those arms out, palms up or down. Walk your feet in, so heels are completely in line with the sit bones. And as you mildly imprint, so rolling that pelvis forward and back, settle in to your Pilates neutral. And there's going to be a whole series of movements now on the back body. So natural spine curves, Nice sense of weight passing down through the buttocks and the pelvic bones. And again here, much like we do in Pilates standing stance, try to access a felt sense of an even weight through the heels and through to the toes, and the forefoot and hind foot is equal. So not rolling onto the outer edges of the feet or letting the knees knock towards the midline. So take the right palm behind the back of the skull and let the left palm rest into the pelvis or to that pubic core, that pelvic core. Gaze to the sky as you exhale, curl up and down. And you might not be lifting the head, neck and chest that far. So even though I said curl up, in actual fact, this is known as upper chest lift. So you might find you are literally gazing up to the sky. So we're looking for about 10 contractions into the upper, mid and lower abdominals. So feel as much of your torso contract as possible. Try not to pull the chin into the chest, and also not to tuck the lower area. So, you know, looking up to the sky. Really good for that tone, especially in that upper area. And then swap. Left hand cradles the back of the skull, right palm just sort of connecting, reminding you to remain engaged all the way through. It's a fairly dynamic lift and lower. So the back of the left palm is just kind of kissing the earth. And then you re-engage, and there's a real squeeze coming right down through that midline. And I think with the palm on that pelvic core, you might feel all the way through that center. You may have found 10 of each. And you can rest now or interlace both palms. Float the knees above the hips, and we will just engage through that midline again. So zip and hollow, squeeze the inner ankles, knees together, and 10 again here. Cradled head, upper chest lift. And they are like small actions. It's like a tiny contracted squeeze. But please remember, with the double cradled fingers and hands, not to pull on your neck. And then when you've completed enough and you feel good, roll your head side to side, free up those arms, and just enjoy a gentle head rolling with your eyes open. And then fold the knees into your chest and hug the knees in. And we're going to shake the legs out up towards the sky. So there can be a little softening through the knees. Try to find that there's a heaviness through the sacrum. So you're long through that sacrum. And then let the left leg drop away. And if possible, it drops down fairly low. But this right leg is the unstable leg, and this one floats upwards. But as I say, some of you might have to have a bend in your knee. If it can go to a bigger arrow, then that's good. Pelvis stays steady, no rocking. Squeeze that left leg back up to meet the right. So all the way through this single leg drop and lift, a single leg extend and lift. What you want to find is that the muscles around that torso are wrapping more. The feet are soft, so I'm not asking you to point or flex the feet. And you are breathing all the way throughout. So looking for about 6 or 8 of this single drop. And feel free to hug in the midline. But once you've done that, reset that center so you're very strongly anchored through the midline, through the back ribs, And then you are mindfully letting that right leg lower and then squeeze back. And the reason this is an intermediate Pilates is because there is instability in this left pelvis. You've got to keep much more energy into the abdominal. So if you are struggling, just pop your left foot down. You're not kicking a ball and you are not flinging those legs. And please don't let tension creep into the neck, throat or the jaw. Take a little breather, shake out those legs, and then let them fall apart, maybe to mat wide, but of course they can fall open a little wider if that's your general natural range of motion. And then cross, cross and open. So this is crisscross, simple. And you can continue with that simple format for several more breaths. So it's open, and then left over right, right over left, open. If you want to lift the upper head, neck and chest and cradle, that would add the upper body element. And remember, you're not flinging, so it's a controlled energy. Feet are softly pointing now, and the legs are out-turned. Different, but similar, is reaching the arms forward with your weights. And trying to curl up as high as possible while keeping that rhythm going in the breath and in the movement. You might want to flex the heels. That gives a little bit more energy to the legs. So you can keep the feet softly pointed. You can start to regress back to the previous movement where you're just lying on the mat. Resting at any time. Keeping still through the pelvis. Heavy in that sacrum. A little stronger would be to curl up and bring the arms up towards the sky or even behind you. And even one more variation will be to let those crisscross legs to travel a little bit down towards the earth and then back up towards the sky. So if you're going to try that one, reshape the legs up towards the sky with softening knees or lengthened arrow legs. Make sure you are fully into your midline, waist is cinched in, and then crisscross open, but let the legs kind of gently lower, maybe to 45-degree angle. Crisscross open. No doming of the belly. And then gradually walk back up towards the sky. So you're getting to a place where you're just challenging, because the weight of the legs as you crisscross and open at that 45 angle or higher will create a different energy. And feel free to hug and rock again, or of course place the feet on the mat and give yourself a lovely rocking action. Okay, now back to supine semi-base position. Bring the arms up towards the sky with weights or no weights or small fists. And float the right leg up. Shake out the leg. Take a breath in. As you exhale, curl up as if you're reaching towards that leg, and your fingertips might even touch that leg. And release. Try to avoid bringing the arms overhead and just completely stopping all motion. So you sort of switch off the muscles. Try to avoid that. Instead, curl, lengthen. It's almost as if you're trying to walk up that leg, and it's known as Pilates hug a tree. And slow it down if necessary. Big breath in. Exhale, peel up. And then maybe breathe again. Inhale, and as you exhale, peel. And if you want to take the leg, just see if you can hug and use your strength of your abdominals to curl up a little bit more. Trouble is with that, sometimes the shoulders hunch into the ears. After 6 or 8, swap legs. And you can reach the arms up towards that foot and ankle, or you can reach your arms like a long arm curl up down towards the bottom of the mat. 6 and 8. Give yourself a breather, have a little rest, and then float both legs up. So we come into a little bit more intermediate because there's no stability of the feet on the mat. And alternate. So there's a little bit, but take the legs mat wide. It's a little bit of a shift towards the sides as well. So you're lifting upwards, arms reach towards the sky, or a little bit ribcage, arms towards the jawline as you breathe in. As you exhale, curl and reach around that right thigh. And back, inhale, exhale, curl and reach around that left thigh. And just be careful that you're not flinging or causing aggravation to the neck. Know that your muscles in your neck are well supported by the shoulder girdle. And of course, that comes with regular practice as you increase the efficacy of the functionality of the muscles of the abdominals. Always good to slow down, reset and start again if necessary. And then shake out the legs, and with the legs still up towards the sky, or of course you can put one foot down, circle the ankles. And the knees a little bit. Stir into those ankles both ways. And then circle the hips. Quite a lot of energy today in those longer legs. So the apparatus of the abdominals, those long lean leg muscles. Shake out the legs towards the sky. Lift the head, neck and shoulders, arms forward, holding the weight, so long arm energy, or of course the arms back behind you, ribcage arms, or cradling the head, elbows out wide or medium to a moderate place that's good for you. Alternate scissors now. Your leg might be at a 45 angle, or your leg might even hover almost just above the earth. And then let's go quite rapid for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And then another 10 if you can. Slow it down. Bring both legs up to the sky. Curl a little higher. I've got a little midgie in here, keeps flying on me, by the way, that's off-putting. And squeeze the heels together, open out the feet, double leg lowering. Exhale back to the center. Remember to lay down if necessary and open out the chest. Legs lower to a challenging place for you without doming the abdomen. Exhale back towards the sky. Really nice to sigh that breath out through the mouth. It helps you to not over grip, or again, helps you to be aware of the facial muscles throughout this double leg lowering. And exhale as you anchor back. 6, 8 or 10. And then feet down. Reach out the legs long, point, flex the feet. Arms overhead, full body stretch. As you do that sense of that full body stretch, you feel that sense of it. Notice a shift in that midline. Notice new connections, new energy. You might want to pick up your hand weights, flex them if you wish. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Breathe in as you exhale. Slow, controlled, full Pilates roll up to sitting. And at the top, as you sit tall, maybe point the feet, you can bend the knees if you wish. Inhale as you exhale, hollow scoot back and spine reach forward. Sitting tall, breathe in as you exhale, hollow scoop, control that roll down, come as low as you dare or all the way to earth. Inhale, arms. Exhale, slow, controlled reset. Inhale at the top. Exhale, hollow scoot back. Mobilize your spine into C-shaped curve and spine reach forward. You might want to think about practicing those or your seated rollbacks every day this week. But meanwhile, we're coming to standing. Once you're in standing, slide those legs out to mat or shoulder wide. Give yourself a lovely spiral. Interlace the fingers. Another full body stretch in standing now. And then ease out those side bodies. Hope you feel that you've woken up your abdominals. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a really good week.